Hey everybody, how you doing? Jeff here, back with another Diablo 2 Resurrected video, and this is a guide for how to build a Tesladin, the best melee character in the game. And this is a Paladin that uses a variety of offensive auras. It's very tanky, high defense, high resistances. As you can see, I'm just standing in the Soul's Lightning there. Max block. Mana is never an issue because all you use is Zeal, which costs 2 mana, so you're never going to run out of that. It's got great mobility with charge to get around. It also charges an attack, so you can just plow through enemies with it. It's very simple gameplay. It's really good for Ubers too. You don't need an extra character. You don't need to make a smiter. You don't need to have a friend who's a smiter. You've got all the crushing blow and fanaticism and everything you need on this same character. It can do it all, which also, for that reason, makes it a great hardcore character. If you've never had your shot at hardcore, you've been a little intimidated by it, this is a good option for that. So, if all this sounds good, keep watching. Now, I'm going to show how to build this character from the very start, level 1, all the way to end game, and talking about gear and skills throughout. So, I'm going to include times in the description below, so if you'd like to jump to a certain part, feel free to do that. To begin with, we're going to look at a fresh Paladin. This Paladin is actually my hardcore character. He's currently level 38. I've finished normal difficulty, and I've done some Baal runs and whatnot to level him up extra to get him ready for Nightmare. When I first start a Paladin, let's take a look at the skills here. It's straight Holy Fire. This adds just a ton of damage. Each of these auras, Holy Fire, Holy Freeze, and Holy Shock, affect enemies in an area around you based on the skill level. So the higher level, the bigger area it hits. So when you get these leveled up enough, it's going to hit basically the whole screen for constant ticking damage of that element. It also adds a good chunk of damage to your own physical attack. So when I hit level 6, I go Holy Fire, and I do its defensive aura, Resist Fire, which is its synergy to add more damage to it. And that's it. I'll just do only those two skills. I usually go up until when I get to Act 4, and then I respec and go into Holy Freeze. But up until then, that's all you need. It does so much damage, that's all you'll need. So that's what I did with this character. Then when I got to Act 4, I respec'd, and I went all Holy Freeze and its synergy, which is Resist Cold, to boost its damage. I have put a couple points into Zeal for my attack, just to hit a couple extra targets, get multiple targets down faster, and 1 point into Smite, which is a guaranteed hit, and you're going to use this combined with some crushing blow on items, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. But that's all you'll need. And as I continue to level this character, I'm going to continue to increase my cold damage by pumping up the other synergy, Salvation, for Holy Freeze, which is under defensive auras over here. And then I'm also going to get points leading down to Holy Shield. This is your big defensive thing that's going to increase your defense a lot and your blocking chance. So I'm going to work my way down to this, get at least 5 points into this, so it'll last a good amount of time. And on the way, we'll get Charge also, which is a really good mobility skill. I love Charge to move around quickly. So let's tab over and take a look at the stats real quick where I'm at. This is again at the end of normal difficulty. So I've got just enough strength to wear my gear, and I've got basically everything else into vitality. I haven't started pumping up dex yet. You're going to eventually want to do this for max block. If you look under defense here and tab over it, it'll tell you the chance an enemy has to hit you and your chance to block. So eventually, block chance is based on dexterity. You're going to use Holy Shield to give a big boost, but then you're going to pump dex to get max block, which is 75% is the highest it can be. So you're going to want to definitely reach that because you'll be taking lots of hits. So that's going to help with survivability. And my resistances here, fire and lightning are the most important in general. So I've made sure I've got those maxed out. And the good thing about a Paladin is it's easy to do that. So let's go over and take a look at some gear here. And I really just have pretty garbage gear on. I have made a stealth armor, but other than that, I've got just 28 lightning on this, a little bit of resistances here and there. There's some fire resist, boots with some fire resist, attack rating and fire resist there, freeze duration, some hit recovery. Hit recovery is key also. You want to get to at least 48% hit recovery because you're going to be taking hits, and that way you'll get back quickly. Love Paladin shields. They can roll with innate all resistances and sockets. So this one, just a real low shield, rolled with some resistances. I threw some diamonds in it for decent resistances. The weapons, I generally make Runewords. So I start off with a steel, which is just tier L, and that's just for a fast attack, basically. That's at level 13. At level 25, I've moved into a strength flail, which is AM tier, and that's a good attack also. It's got some lifesteal, and it has 25% crushing blow, which is going to help us take down high HP monsters like bosses fast. At level 35, I'm going to make a 3-socket flail, a rune word called Black, and that has even more crushing blow. That's Thul, Io, and Neph. And so that's the basic idea. You want just a fast attack to deliver that fire damage or that cold damage as quickly as possible. So I basically try to get my gear for resistances to keep me alive, and then just a fast weapon to deliver that offensive aura that I have. Let's take a look at some gameplay here. We're starting out Nightmare. Let's see what the Holy Fire and Holy Freeze gameplay looks like. And they're real similar. The only difference is that Holy Freeze also freezes enemies for that big survivability, which is why I like to switch to it, especially on a hardcore character like this. So the aura there, you can see I'm not even attacking and the aura is killing him. It's doing 120 damage a tick. If I would Zeal, I would hit for 600 to 700 basically. And so I'm going to run this guy just as Holy Freeze now through Nightmare. And I'll get him to probably 65 or 70 before moving on to Hell. And while I'm leveling up, I'm going to go for those synergies to continue to increase the cold damage. So it's going to be Salvation and Resist Cold to pump up the damage. I'm going to get points into Holy Shield for survivability, at least like 5 points into that. And then on the way, you're going to get Charge also. And Charge is a really good mobility skill. It's an attack, but you can also just charge around and move real quickly. So for these champions, I'll come up and attack them some. And then if you're going to do a boss, like I mentioned, you want some crushing blow when you can get it, and you're going to use Smite on them. Smite's a guaranteed hit, so you can tear down bosses very quickly with that. My Merc, by the way, is an Blessed Aim Merc. You can see it going there. Sometimes it's hard to get enough attack rating to hit, so I'll use a Blessed Aim one to try to get my hit rating up. And other than that, that's it. You're going to go Holy Freeze all the way into Hell. And at that point, you do want to get a better weapon. I like to switch to a physical weapon. Hopefully you can find one that drops that's pretty good. And I'll go over that next. Let's take a look at some of the gear that you're going to want to get as you move into Hell difficulty. Now, I'll show off my gear first, and I've got some endgame gear. I've been playing this character a lot. So my current gear is an Ethereal Etten Axe with the Death rune word in it, which is more expensive. It's got a Vex and a Gull. It's got big damage, Deadly Strike, Crushing Blow, huge damage output from it. Shield, I'm still just rocking a Paladin shield with big base resistances and a bunch of perfect diamonds, and I just steadily work that up as I find better shields and better diamonds. I've got a G-Face on, which is awesome. It's got attack speed based on my jewel, but it base comes with hit recovery, Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, great helmet. Boots are Gore Riders, Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, Open Wounds. I've got a T-Gods on, mainly for Lightning Resist and Lightning Absorb, but the Strength and Vitality are nice as well. I have a Fortitude Armor, which is another more expensive rune word. It's got a low rune in it. Gives big damage, resistances, and some life. I've got a High Lord's Amulet on. Skills, the big thing there is Deadly Strike and attack speed. More lightning resist is always good, though. Got a Ravenfrost on, mainly for Can't Be Frozen, but the other stats are welcome as well. I've got a pretty good ring here, attack rating and lifesteal with dual resist on. And my gloves are Laying of Hands Bramble Mitts, which is good for attack speed and huge bonus to demons, which lots of enemies are demons. Also big fire resist on it. Now, a lot of this is getting into endgame gear, so let's talk about some options that you'll be looking for just when you're starting into Hell. So for a weapon, one that I used for a while was the Lacerator. Good physical damage and a chance for amplified damage, which will double your damage. Another option here I've used is Barnar's Star, which has good physical and lots of elemental damage on it. Another one I used was called Crane Beak, which is a unique war spike. My absolute favorite, though, is Lightsaber, unique phase blade. Good damage, blazing fast attack, ignore target's defense, so you don't have to care about attack rating whatsoever. You're almost always going to hit. Some magic and lightning damage to help maybe with physical immunes. Lifesteal, lightning absorb. Amazing weapon. And I paid a co-rune for this, basically free. So if nothing else, trade and get a lightsaber. A couple other staple items that are real cheap. G-Face is generally pretty cheap. Gore Riders are pretty cheap. Laying of Hands are probably pretty cheap. Ravenfrost. So you could trade for a lot of these items and not have to pay very much and get a very good start. My favorite alternative when I start is Duriel's shell as an armor. Good resistances, cannot be frozen if you don't have a Ravenfrost, big life, good defense. That's a great armor as you're moving into Hell difficulty. Shield I've already talked about, just a decent Paladin shield with some diamonds. And jewelry, just go for some life leech and resistances. Other stats are welcome as well. And you do want to get faster hit recovery up. G-Face is great for that. It's got 30% on it. And then, like I said, 48% is the great break point. So you want to get just 18% somewhere else on your gear. And you can even do that with charms. Small charms come with 5, large charms have 8, and grand charms have 12%. So make sure you get to that 48% break point. So when you do take those hits, you recover very quickly to move or attack or whatever you need to do. So after I found a decent physical weapon, I respec'd again, like I said, and I've made sure that I've pumped up Zeal to max and its synergy, which is Sacrifice, to add more damage. I've got Holy Shield maxed out for that defense and blocking, and the offensive aura I'm running is Fanaticism, which is amazing. Huge attack rating, damage, and for your party as well, attack speed. My friend who plays a Trap Assassin even loves it when I'm playing with him because trap laying is based on attack speed, not cast speed. So when he gets my Fanaticism aura, he can just lay traps out like crazy. He loves it. No defensive auras right now, but I will get to that here once I respec one more time, which I'll show in a little bit. He is a level 91. You can see his stats here. I have put more into dexterity, like I said, because I want to get that max block. And you can see just how much Holy Shield helps. So I've played him just how I said. I started with Holy Fire. I moved into Holy Freeze and used that up to level 70 or so, just farming Nightmare, Baal runs or whatnot at the end. And as it leveled up there, I made sure to start pumping up Holy Shield for huge defense and blocking bonuses, as well as Zeal. And so I did that until I found a decent weapon for physical damage so I could switch over to Fanaticism, which is what he runs now. So if you take a look, actually, just what Holy Shield can do for you, as an example, Fallen will hit me 49% chance. My chance to block is 39%. If I just trigger Holy Shield, now suddenly they only have an 18% chance to hit me, and I have max block, which is 75%. That's the most block you can have. So you're going to want to get max block based on your gear, your equipment, and then you put in enough dexterity to push that up to 75%. So let's take a little closer look at the stats here. In particular, if you want to look at the damage, I got 1,800 to 4,000 without Fanaticism. So just to show what Fanaticism does, now I'm at 2,700 to 6,000, and it's huge attack rating as well and attack speed. So it's a fantastic aura. We can look at our more detailed stats here also. I've got Life Leech, 15%, some Mana Leech, and the big ones are my Crushing Blow is at 100%. So every single hit I'm landing is doing Crushing Blow, which is a big percent. I've got that 350% damage to demons, and my Deadly Strike there, 109%. Deadly Strike is the chance to do double damage, so every hit I'm landing is double damage. So actually, instead of doing 2,700 to 6,000, I'm hitting for 5k to 12k every hit. And then the all-important resistances in Hell difficulty, we've got them maxed out, even a little extra lightning here. Let's take another quick look at the skill tree here. So we're going to run Fanaticism aura all the time. That's always going to be on. Defensive auras have nothing right now. And then combat skills, we got Max Zeal, which is our main attack. It's Synergy for more damage, which is Sacrifice. And then Holy Shield is max for huge defense and blocking. And I also use Smite some on bosses or high HP, because Smite is a guaranteed hit. And then Charge I use all the time. This is my big mobility move, Charge, and you have to get it anyway on your way to Holy Shield, and this is really great to get around. So let's run into, I commonly do Chaos runs through River of Flame, and then Pit runs. So let's go to Outer Cloister and do a quick Pit run to show off what this build can do. Flip on Holy Shield, and then we're going to charge into a group of enemies, and then Zeal away. And then I charge to move along. So charge is super fast. Pretty good substitute for teleport, I think. And my strategy is just run into a pack of enemies and zeal away. You're built like a tank. You've got resistances. You've got max block at 75%. You've got some damage reduction maybe on your items. And sometimes they even hold charge. Like this, I'm just holding charge down and just plowing through enemies. I get to a big pack, I'm going to zeal away. Ooh, a unique amulet. Wow, nice. And a small charm. So fanaticism all the time. I've got good lifesteal, so I don't hardly ever have to heal, actually. And you can see it just, I mean, with all the bonuses, fanaticism, you attack super fast. You got all that crushing blow and deadly strike with death. And the damage itself is just massive. And I have gone Grief in the past. Grief is a phenomenal rune word, one of my favorite rune words. But I decided this time to try out Death instead. But I have run a Grief phase blade most of the time in the past. And what's awesome about Grief is it adds a huge chunk of just straight damage. And that adds directly to Smite. So that's why you'll see a lot of people who run Ubers using a Grief, because it makes your Smite super powerful. So you can see with charge, you can get around very quickly here. And then seal away when you get into a pack, and just it tears through them pretty well. Now I'm going to do one more version of this build. I'm going to move into Holy Shock finally. And to do that, we're going to make a couple rune words for Dream, which gives a Holy Shock aura, which is very high level, very end game, but I finally have the materials for it, so we're going to take a second here to show that off. So here we are, I'm ready to respect my final time. So we've gone through Holy Fire, Holy Freeze, Fanaticism. Now I'm going to respec and do a Holy Shock aura with those dreams. And it's going to look pretty similar to the skills. You can see I've still got 15 unspent skill points actually running this Fanaticism build. But all those are going to go into resist lightning as its synergy. So we're going to jump over here and we're going to make our dreams. So I've got my 3-socket helmet base, elite helmet there, and then a sacred targ with base 40 all resistances. The rune word is Io, Ja, and Pull. And here we go. We got Io, Ja, Pull. There's the first dream, and these can have a pretty good big variance on faster hit recovery and resistances. And then we're going to grab our other runes out of here. We got Io and Ja and Pull for our other dream. Okay, so I'm going to put these on. I'm going to respec, which is going to take a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll see where all their stats and damage and everything is. So here it is, the final build, the Tesladin or the Holy Shock Paladin. Let's check out stats here. So I've respec'd, my strength is a little lower, dex is a little lower just based on what I needed. Everything now goes into vitality that's left over. So I've got almost 1,800 life, and that's without battle orders or anything like that. If you got a good barbarian friend with you, you're going to be creeping up on probably 4,000 life. Attack here is 2,300. The lightning is doing about 5,500 to 6,000 for max. So I've still got all that physical from death and my other gear. And then on top of it now is 6K lightning damage, as well as the pulse that does about 600 to 700 damage to the whole screen. Resistances here. Did have that big shield on for all those resistances, so we've dropped some resists. Everything is still max. You can see lightning I've got now at 95%, and we'll show how that is here in a second with the gear. Pop over to the skill tree. It's real similar to what it was, actually. Offensive aura, still running a max fanaticism. Combat skills, we've got still max zeal and its synergy, max sacrifice. Holy shield is not quite maxed because we've put points now into resist lightning, because that is a synergy for our Holy Shock aura we have now. So let's check out the gear. We've got our Death Ethereal and Axe. We've got our 2 dreams on, which we'll look at more here in just a moment. We've got the High Lords on. I've got an Archon plate that was a really high base defense, Fortitude on. Got the Laying of Hands. We've got our Leech and Resist and Attack Rating Ring. I've got T-Gods on for big lightning and absorb. That's how we get to that 95 lightning resist, and it's also absorbing. So this will make you just like laugh at burning souls. Everybody else is running away, you're charging in at them. We've got a Raven on for Can't Be Frozen. We've got our Gore Riders on. On Switch, I've still got the Lacerator to use Amplify damage if I need to break physical immunities, but really with the lightning damage now, it's not needed very often. And then just my big base resistance on the Switch also. So let's take a look at the dreams. So the big thing I was looking for is the faster hit recovery roll and the resist roll. So faster hit recovery can roll 20 to 30, and resist can roll 5 to 20. So look at the helmet here. We got a 21 hit recovery and an 8 resist, which is pretty low. Kind of disappointed with that. On the shield, we got a 22 hit recovery and a 14 resists. So again, low hit recovery, but pretty decent resist. Anyway, the hit recovery I'm pretty happy with really anyway because it adds up to 43 and we want to get 48 for our breakpoint. So all I did was throw on one small charm and I've got my 48 hit recovery breakpoint. Now the shields and the helmet stack. This gives 15 Holy Shock. The shield gives 15 Holy Shock for a total of 30 Holy Shock aura, which is what makes it so powerful. Now, you can't run Holy Shock yourself and have it stack on top of this and get, like a level 50 Holy Shock. But like I said, you can synergize it with Resist Lightning to add all that damage on. The other thing that's amazing about the Dream Rune Word is the chance to cast Confuse when you get struck. Each of them has a 10% chance to cast level 15 Confuse, which is a Necromancer curse. And when enemies get hit by this, they just turn and fight each other. So this is awesome because it hits a huge area too. But sometimes the whole screen is confused and they aren't even paying attention to me while I'm going around smashing through them. Or a lot of times an archer might hit me from off the screen, and by the time I get over to that spot, that area is confused already before I even get there, and nobody's even trying to attack me. So it's amazing, amazing. So I've got my build pretty close to done. The only thing I might change is my weapon. I'd like to upgrade. So I got a low roll at 304% on this death, but I'd actually like to switch to a Berserker Axe anyway, which has a slightly better range to hit further away and slightly faster attack speed. The belt you could switch out to something else if you wanted to, if you wanted some damage reduction or lifesteal from like String of Ears or Verdungos or whatever you feel like you'd need. My Mercenary I want to talk about too real quick. So Mercenary I currently have as Holy Freeze, but you might switch to Might to boost his damage and your damage, or you might switch to Blessed Aim if you want to up your attack rating some more. He's currently got Obedience and Treachery and a Tal's Helm on, although I did just get an Andy's Helm to drop. So I'll probably put that on. I would like to get Infinity on him because now I'm doing so much shock damage that would really boost that, as well as it boosts your attack rating too. It lowers enemies' defenses too to give you a better chance to hit, so that would be ideal. And I may upgrade him to a Chains of Honor or a Fortitude himself. So this is my current Paladin. Love it. Love the playstyle. I charge through. You've got your Holy Shock ripping through enemies. You've got Confuse for more survivability, and enemies are killing themselves. Super aggressive. I'm going to leave some clips here at the end to show my playstyle, how I play, and some example runs of what it can do, how the Holy Shock works, how the Confuse works. But otherwise, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this helped you. I encourage anyone to make a Paladin like this because they're super fun to play. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Okay, so let's check out some runs here to show off the gameplay and whatnot. So here I'm running it down to Nihl effect, hunting D keys. There you can see Confuse triggered already. Everybody is confused. Those little green and pink orbs floating over their head. And they're just trying to attack each other, ignoring me. Charge through here. One shot, keep moving. Charge is great mobility, especially since it's an attack also. You just charge and plow through enemies and keep going. And again, that Holy Shock aura is constantly ticking on everything. And it doesn't show on the sheet, but I believe it's doing about 600 to 700 damage. So in a room like this, it's swarming with enemies. And you can see they're all confused also. 4 or 5 ticks and they're all down. Go up and hit Nilithek a couple times and he goes down. And then here's my very next run. And similar thing, Shock aura ticks 4 or 5 times, then you walk up to Nilithek. And I do have Nature's Peace on, by the way, the ring, which keeps him from doing his corpse explosion. It's slain monsters, rest in peace. And he even drops a destruction key there. Okay, then here is a chaos example. Starting at the star, similar gameplay, you charge through enemies, get into a small pack, you zeal away on them. Lots of curses in here. Right now I've got amplified damage on me, but that really doesn't affect me, I don't feel. The only bad one really is Decrepify, which everybody hates, you know. Getting slowed down, really annoying. Stormcaster's in here too, always trying to drain your mana. There you can see my mana draining down. But again, I really don't care. You can see on my belt, I don't even have mana potions equipped. I just have some healing and rejuve. I'm steadily stealing. See, there's my mana full again. Zeal is amazing. 2 mana is all it takes. So even if you get mana burnt to 0, just through natural regeneration, you quickly get 2 magic back in order to throw out another zeal, and then you're leeching, leeching mana right back. So makes it very, very nice compared to other characters who use teleport a lot or real mana intensive. They need insight on their mercenary. I don't need any of that, This build is very self-sufficient. Try to watch my life throughout this too. I don't know, my life hardly moves a lot of times. You got such high defense and max block and resistances. You just kind of wade through things. Check out a Grand Charm there. Nothing interesting. I don't know why I'm holding on to that scepter. I think it's just the rust handle, Pretty garbage item. Lord Decise, trying to decrepify me again. Helps him last another second or two, but not too long. Move down here for the last couple seals. Got to amplify damage on me yet again. Man, they're always cursing in here. There you can see a couple of those guys are confused, and it's such an amazing rune word. Huge shock damage, and that confuse is just almost OP. It probably is OP, honestly, because it's just constantly crowd controlling enemies for you. Okay, now we go up to D here, and I will switch over to my Lacerator. It's got that 33% chance to cast amplified damage, so I'm going to smite him a couple times to get that on, switch back to Death, and then Zeal, and he's done. He's taking quad damage right there because of that, because I've got, I think, like a 94% deadly strike, so I'm doing double damage basically every hit, and then with amp damage, it's another double damage, so it's quad damage. So like a sheet, I believe, shows like 2,500 to 6K, so it's actually doing like 10 to 24K every hit. Some Burning Souls in here, get confused. Their lightning is meaningless because, I've got 95 resist and absorb. Here we go, wave 1 in the throne. That guy was even stone skin, and I didn't amp him or anything. That was just lightning from Dream taking him down, which is pretty awesome. Stone Skin usually is a pain for physical damage, but now that we've got that lightning damage, it's not a concern. Wave 2, couple ticks of the aura, and the skeletons are down. Big guys follow soon after, and everybody was confused again there too. Good old Decrepify from Baal. Thank you, Baal. Wave 3 here. Look, they're confused again. And they only last about 3 seconds anyway. And Decrepify yet again. Baal's favorite move. Alright, wave 4. And you can see my life jumping back up with my leech. Like it might go down a little bit, and then, you do so much physical damage, you leech just a ton of life. Alright, 5th and final wave here, the minions. I don't think they fare much better. He does cast Decrepify on me, which helps him last a little bit longer, Pretty standard for Baal. But otherwise, down pretty easily. Okay, and then I am going to do the same thing to Baal like I did to Diablo. Switch over to Lacerator to amplify damage him. So he's getting double damage from that, double damage from my Deadly Strike, and he, it's maybe 5 Zeals and he's down. Very quick kill. So if you guys had any questions or comments, leave them down below, and thanks for watching.